I hate putting in general.
Will Bill, we will bring the Selectmen's Meeting to order for January 13th, 2013. First item of business is to approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
I make the motion we accept the minutes as read. Second it.
Been moved and seconded to accept the minutes of December 30th, 2013. All those in favor? 3 in favor, none opposed.
In my own little world.
Financial. Before the warrants, $112,569.43. Warrant of $65,322.98. Payroll warrant of $1,419.03. Leaving a balance of $45,827.42.
And I have taken in just today over $50,000 in taxes, just today. So taxes are coming in.
Good.
Very well.
Old business. Rees Across America transfer.
Karen sent me a message and said that she has talked with her lawyers and told them to move forward, do what they needed to, and get things together so that she can get something to present to you, and that she'd be happy to meet with you at any point in time if you felt necessary before then. So she started that process.
Okay.
We'll go. I did want to bring forth to you, though, making some, I don't know when you want to start making some plans about what we're going to need to do to get our stuff out of their stuff. They'll have to be out of their, this part of the room for them. We're going to have to make some adjustments, maybe build some closets or do something. And I don't know, when that might want to be done, but
Okay.
something to be thinking about. Not wait till the last minute.
Okay.
Could we go into an executive session and discuss something that we might want to negotiate dealing with what she just proposed?
I don't think you want to go into executive session for that.
You don't think we could? It might be relevant.
I think if it doesn't have anything to do with employees, I don't think we should.
But this is a matter that does involve possible transfer of this building.
You can go into executive session if it could affect the possible outcome, of the negotiations.
Why do you think that we have to go into executive session? I guess I don't.
Well, then would you feel free to discuss this right here at the table?
Well, I think we kind of have to.
Okay. All right. Then my thoughts are, we have a room right across from our administrative office that we have been letting them lease as a part of the lease agreement. Now, in negotiations, we're going to have to evacuate these locker rooms with all of our files and everything that's stored in there. And I believe, am I correct, Nancy, that one is nearly full?
This little room here.
Right. So what I'm thinking is that in the negotiations, we could get that room back, store everything in there, have access to it right across the hall from the administrative office, and not have to take up necessary room in our office and go through the cost of construction to accommodate all that material.
We can surely negotiate that. I don't see why we wouldn't use the little office right here. It gets very little use.
What little office is
One
it?
right ahead of what used to be the principal's office, used to be the secretary's office.
Where the users lounge?
Yeah. That doesn't get much use, does it?
Would
Or
that-
does it?
Would that
Maybe
have
it does.
room enough?
It's good to have a place, I mean, the planning board meets in there,
Yeah.
if anybody, it is good to have a place. The treasurer doesn't need, and we've discussed this, right? The treasurer doesn't need her own office. That office is plenty big enough. So my thought was, if we could build a closet on the back of that room,
Of her office?
no, of the current office, which is really much bigger than you need. It's filled up with stuff because it kind of, fills up the room. It's not necessary. So if you could build a storage closet along the back of that room for the things that you needed immediately, use the treasurer's office as storage for the things, the old records, then other than UMW, we should be able to put everything where we need to, because the boys' locker room's pretty much been cleaned out.
Then where are they going to put them?
That I don't know. That's something that would have to be worked out. And perhaps in the janitor's, there's still more things that can come out of that janitor's closet that have been in there. There's a big cart in there. There's that fire cabinet, But that's just a thought. I mean, if we could have the whole room across the hall, that'd be great. But that's something you'd have to work out with.
She has said to you and to me, privately, that she's going to evacuate her husband.
Mhm.
He's going to have to leave. And if he has to leave, it appears to me that that's going to give us a little area there to negotiate.
Because he uses most of the offices in this wing down here. Reeves uses all of the new wing, plus the old second grade room, the computer lab. But all they've done to that room, last time I was there, they put a doorway. I mean, there's a doorway there, but nothing else. So I know they utilized it this wreath season. They had to put staff in there, but
There's something that definitely we can talk about.
Sure. Maybe something could be negotiated.
Yeah. Moving on to the next old business, general assistant.
I spoke with Jerry about that, and the person that filled that, it was decided would have to take a whole day course to be qualified.
1 day course?
1 day course. But I'm thinking town meeting is right around the corner, unless you had somebody who's already done it who was willing to do it, then, and maybe she wants to give it up come March. But in order for somebody to fill in, there is a 1 day class course that they have to take.
How is Jerry's health?
Pretty good. She lost her sister today.
Oh,
But, so that will, I'm sure, set things back a little bit. But I know she's having some gallbladder issues.
Have we had any general assistants?
Not
Other
since,
than-
no, not since the first, what initiated this is not.
Do we want to put that on the town meeting warrant and actually, that's always been an appointed position, right? It's not an elected position.
No, it's not. Or maybe some further conversation from somebody when things quiet down a little, if she even wants it next year, and then if not,
Find somebody that pays what, $400?
$400.
Sure they'll be beating that all down. Okay, what do you think?
if there's no great need right now, I think we wait.
Okay. Next item is Dan Kane and the gym, and use of the gym. How did that all go down after?
How does that stand right now?
Well, he ended up using the gym Friday. He had the insurance faxed to me, but he's not been in and signed anything or paid anything for the use of it. And then we left it as to decide from the meeting tonight where we went from there. It's my understanding we had no Columbia Falls children participating in this program.
I've been checking through my notes. I've got more than that. And at least once, and possibly twice, in my 3-year tenure, the board has acted that Dan Kane can bring the children in here at no charge.
Okay. I guess I have no problem with that, but why does he not use a district facility? Since most of these kids are in the district, I take it. I think
Yeah,
they're
what I understand from that is they won't allow it, Bun won't allow it.
I did ask.
That's a sad comment on the
He
district.
went to Harry, yeah, it is, very sad.
I did ask why he doesn't have Columbia Falls children, and he said, I don't know. He said, I've approached them,
Right.
I've let them know that the door is open, but they haven't chosen to do that.
Our numbers are down.
What age group is this? From what age?
4th and 5th grade, I think he said. That's
Oh,
all.
it is?
4th and 5th?
I think so.
He must be moving it up as his son gets older, because
I
it was littler than that, so I think as his son gets older. And my only thing is if this is allowed, that I can send the phone calls and the complaints of the residents who have to pay to use it to you guys that come into this town office.
Why do we, if this is being done for children, why do we even charge the residents to use it? Look, children are our future. And if we can do anything for children, we ought to be doing it. We've only got to have we're not going to have this building too much longer. And I say, if we can get the children in here and make some use of it, good.
So a birthday
I
party
guess
that
so.
for children is different, or?
Birthday party is, I think it's different, personally. I'm not talking sports program, and the old sports I'm sure go on at birthday parties. But,
That's why I'm saying, if you're going to be the ones to pick and choose who uses it, then I would like to be able to send those questions, comments, complaints to you guys.
you can have anybody call me that wants to.
Okay.
You've got my numbers,
I will.
about anything.
I think when we start picking and choosing, though, we're going to get ourselves in a bind sooner or later.
Well, we've already got could be a problem situation with and nothing against the Methodist women, but what happens if another church wants to come along and use it? So we've got that issue with things.
Well, is there any other churches in town?
No, but there could be.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right.
Do we gotta pick and choose?
Well, I guess we're open to a motion then. We want Dan Kane to use it. I think we should make that a motion and let him use it.
Nancy, what would it encompass if we did let the townspeople bring their children in here for birthday parties?
Well, then you get into birthday parties, baby showers. I mean, you're starting to get, again, you're getting into...
But you don't have baby showers for children.
Parties
we
are a whole different thing than coming in here and playing basketball and, teaching kids how to play basketball and helping them learn how to play basketball.
Don't we have
We've got a ball field up there. Anybody in 9 counties should come down there and use that ball field, and nobody would say anything about it. And we fix it.
Don't we have a family
No
in
different than this
town
one right
using
here.
the gym now that we charge?
A family who pays, yes.
We do have a family that we charge here in town
Yeah.
to bring their children in here?
thing, or is it a family choice?
I think it's just the family.
The
isn't it?
family, right.
Question. Do they come in here and use this when we do not have to provide heat?
Well, the heat's on, of course, all the time. They come in on Sundays.
But I mean, in the spring, fall, summer?
No,
No?
only the winter, because
Only
it's
the winter.
basketball season, so
Gets them
it's
inside.
the only time they come, on all of them.
Well, I believe we stated at one of our previous meetings, we were going to take it a case-by-case basis, so this is the case we're at right now. Let's make a decision, what we want to do.
I make a motion that we let Dan use it. It's not his fault that there's no kids from Columbia Falls in there, he offers.
Right.
I think it's a shame that Harrington won't let him use that
What
gym
do
over
we
there.
do?
Addison, high school.
What do we do if this family who happens to be renting it decides to bring in other children other than their own? Then do we let them use it free as well?
Kind of think you'd have to.
I believe they do bring in other children. They rent it as a family, and they bring their family, but I know there are also other children that are coming with them.
I really hate to draw the line. Children are children. Well, yeah.
It's true.
How, when Dan King is done using it, how is the building usually left? Good shape?
It depends. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's, as was the family, that they're paying money to use it, so it's,
Offsets the cleaning of it.
so it depends. I mean, it's not consistent.
That's with Dan. Now, how is it with the family that pays to come?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah. I've come in some Mondays and found different things, and I've spoken to them each time about it, so that same thing's not happened again.
And it is corrected after you speak to them? Sometimes people need guidance.
There's always something different.
Yeah.
But
We have a motion on the floor. I'll second the motion. It's been moved and seconded to allow Dan Kane to use the gym free of charge. All those in favor? 3 in favor, none opposed. Any other old business? None? New business, foreclosures.
put in your packet, the list that we have. Today was the cutoff day. So these are the people, I crossed out 2 who have paid, the rest have not. One individual is making payments $15 a month, but on a consistent basis. Every now and then I'll get more, 2 $15 payments in a month. Yeah, $351. So she's making an effort, but she's the only one who's made any effort whatsoever.
How many are on the list? Counting that one.
Yes. And our usual course of action is to put these out to bid, once they've been foreclosed on.
What about the guy that's making payments?
It's the woman, Account 351 fund, the account's on the left-hand side.
Okay, all right.
I mean, last year when we got to this point, I mean, I realized that, because as of today, they belong to the town anyway. No matter what the town decides to do with them, they belong to the town. But one of the gentlemen that was on the list last year, a letter that reminded him that the town now owned it, brought in payment. One of them only owes a very small amount, and I don't understand that. So I don't know if, you know, we have a little bit of time. You don't have to decide immediately what you want to do with them, or you can decide immediately.
You have sent out the regular stuff that goes along with this. Do you think one more letter will make a difference?
I believe it would in 3 out of the 5. More of a personal letter than the standard foreclosure notice. I believe 3 out of the 5 it would. Account 66, it's an heirs of, so I don't think anything's going to happen with that one. But that's, I don't know that for sure.
Or is that land only?
No, it's a mobile home and land.
Yeah, I guess I would move that we send those 3 personal letters and then deal with this at a later time after we've given them.
Send them all one.
Yeah. Oh,
Send
maybe
them all,
send them all.
personal, okay.
I'll second that motion. Been moved and seconded to send out a letter to see what happens and then deal with this at the next meeting. All those in favor? 3 in favor, none opposed?
Now, I forgot to put on there, we need to set a budget date. That's
Right.
coming around. So we might need to set a date for a budget meeting. Audit will be the 10th. So we should have our stuff in plenty of time this year.
That's the 10th of February.
Yes.
What is a good date for us to do that and allow plenty of time for?
If you did it the first week of March, we should have our information back from Jim, and then that still gives us 2 weeks. But that's a matter of just plugging in numbers, though, really. That's
If you feel comfortable with that, that's
just
fine
a
with me.
matter of plugging in whatever you guys recommend into the,
And
yeah.
budget committee, we're going to do the same as in the past?
Just have a regular budget meeting.
Yep. And draw from that.
That would be the week of the 3rd to the 7th. Selectmen's meetings are the 10th and the 24th that month. The town meeting must be the 18th.
Well, the sooner in that week. You want to have it on that Monday night, the 3rd?
Monday the 3rd.
Sound all right?
That's the budget meeting?
Yep. 7 o'clock.
Okay.
All are welcome. You're going to advertise that?
Yes,
That's February 3rd, right?
March.
Oh, March 3rd. Okay.
So then that will still give a good solid 2 weeks before the town meeting.
And that meeting will be as usual. Any other new business you can think of? We'll move on to officers, committees. Mike Bailey?
I have one issue, like in fact I have 2 now that I was told of another one, but just to bring to your attention to see what you want to do. We've had an ongoing issue down by the post office across the road by Rick Campbell's and by the town, Union Hall, Town Hall, whatever it is. Water issue. It was really bad for a couple of days, the last couple of days when it was cold. I believe it's being caused by pumping water out and running out in the road. I'm not sure how we should address that. It's been an ongoing issue for 2 or 3 years. Don't think it's ever been thoroughly addressed. It's a state aid road. It's causing the problem it's causing a problem for the traveling public. It's a town issue. So I'm bringing it to you to decide how you might want to handle that.
That brings a question to mind. Code enforcement officer, have we had any progress on that?
Do you want to finish with him, and then I'll bring...
Okay,
Right.
all right.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. I mean, it does bring up a thing about...
What's your suggestion? Any suggestion?
I think perhaps a letter from the select people to Mr. Campbell, perhaps saying concerns, seeing if there is, can't resolve it easily. There is a catch basin in front of his property that belongs to the town, or the state, that with a permit is accessible to put a solar drain into. That would be up to him to do, but with the permission of the state. Wouldn't be anything to the town.
He
I think-
can get permission to do that.
He can't.
Yeah.
Yes, he can.
You can't flood the guy out.
No, but he can get, I mean, if he took the incentive to do so, he could.
Right, that's his...
I mean, there's a river in back of his house that could be pumped into. There is other places for this water to go besides in the
Middle of the road.
town way, you know? So, but I don't know if it's ever been confronted. I never have. I don't know if anybody has. So I think that would be our first, should be your first response. My suggestion is to just ask him if he would consider trying to find alternate places for the water to go. I know he can't have water in the cellar. Don't need it.
Right.
But not in the street is not the right spot. So that would be my suggestion.
In making that suggestion, could we let him know that that option is available?
Yes, oh yes, and I could point him, it's online anyway, on the web page of Maine DOT for permits, but I would assist him, I could assist him with that, but yes, you could mention that in the letter, that that's a possibility. So,
Okay.
my other issue is Tony just told me that a stone has fallen from a stone wall on the Churchill Circle, which I'm assuming, I haven't been there yet, I'm assuming it's the same one that perhaps did a few years ago. So we haven't heard about it yet, about putting it back, and I'm wondering what our course of action should be. I don't know, Vance was on then, I'm not sure, none of you three were, but I think it was 4 or 5 years ago that we were made to put it back, the town made to put it back because it was the town's fault for plowing the road.
Oh, okay.
I got a feeling it might resolve again from what we said is down. I'll take care of getting it out of the road tomorrow night at my earliest convenience, but I think it might be something we want to consider what we're going to do, how we're going to present about that.
Get it out of the road so it doesn't go in the hands.
Right, for now.
You can't do anything with it now.
No,
this-
we
in the winter
shouldn't
anyway,
try to
so.
do anything with it now, so.
Okay. Yep.
But it might be forthcoming.
Thank you, Mike.
And on to yours, Bon. I spoke with Mr. Pinkham. I didn't call Beals because in my conversation with him, actually he called me to see what you guys decided. Beals would pay for no courses or any. They weren't going to pay for anything. So he told me. He also, and then Bon posed the question in a conversation the other day about the 1 year. Does that start from when he first started with Beals? Does that count to everybody he does code enforcement with, or does it go on a per job basis? Which was a very good question. So I asked, because he's doing some research into getting his courses taken care of. So he said when he spoke with the state about that, he would ask that question. So, and he hasn't gotten back to me on it yet, so. So I'm not sure if that starts, 1 year starts from when he first takes on.
Oh, you mean from the time
Right.
he starts to the time he gets his
As a code
cert?
enforcement
Okay.
officer, does that make, or does it go for each town he takes on? Do they get a year?
I see.
You know?
I would think it would be each town, but
He he was going to look into that and get back to me on it, and has not yet.
Any
So,
idea what Beals pays their code enforcement officer? No.
I
They
heard
would not pay for
$100
any
per
courses.
permit. $125 permit I heard from someone down that way, that he charges every time they go.
But then there has to be something that they get paid for, like a sewer issue that we have, or, you know, there must be additional, because we always paid, what, 1,200, I think it
1,200.
was?
Yeah,
As a
with-
stipend, plus they
right.
got what?
Right.
As a planning board chairman, do you encounter times that you have to refer to the code enforcement officer?
Once or twice, I've gone to code enforcement officer and, or one we had, and these two times he's had to go to the state because the state had more say over it than the code enforcement officer would, and the state man came down and took care of it. But it's good to have one you can call on, but if you've got to pay him $100 every time you call him and ask him a question, it's sort of outrageous. He wants that, I heard down there he wanted that for every permit that he wrote. Town got $25 permit, he got 100.
I guess we set wages, and if he wants the job, he can take it or not, right?
So,
I guess I'd have a problem with Beals not paying any of their fair share. If they're gonna get a state-certified code enforcement officer out of it, why should we foot the bill? If he's gonna do two towns at the same time. That'd be my only problem. I guess if he wants to do just Columbia Falls, I just soon, foot the bill, but why should we pay for Beals?
Yeah, I think it's lazy, and they go wherever they want.
Well, that's true. That's very true. I guess we really have no say over that.
We have a contract with him, so he paid for his course, he
So,
got to work for you for 10 years.
Yeah. Now,
we have talked to Beals about whether they wanna split the cost of that, or...
he said that Beals would not pay for anything for him to take any class. That's what he said.
Yeah.
But he didn't think there was a lot of expense, because a lot of it is state. It's like the classes I went to last week, they're state, so there was no cost for the class itself.
Right. Well, I mean,
Other than
Other
get
than
there and
time,
mileage and
right,
time, and, you
right.
know, but for the class itself, there was no cost.
I'm wondering if the guy is making the effort, and now there's two towns that possibly going to benefit, and maybe more in the future. I'm wondering if maybe we should leave it up to him to negotiate with the towns to help out with traveling expenses, course expenses, and what have you. And then, if he can do that and make it equal, it certainly would be to both towns' advantage, I would think.
A few years ago, it was $600 or $800 to get certified.
Which I'm sure he
That was
can't pay,
5, 6 years ago, John.
quite confident he can't pay that up.
No, I wouldn't think so.
I could do some more research over the next 2
maybe
weeks.
find out what it
talk to
does
him
cost to
again.
become certified. I believe it is something that the state requires, that we have a code enforcement officer.
If not, we're
And-
looking at
and we're- right. That makes sense? Find out a little more information.
Right.
Dave Perham?
Yes, quick question for the board and for Mike. Did you have any damage from the storms that might be reportable? Did you fill out anything for that?
I asked her if she'd heard anything from the state, she said no.
Mike Heineman from the Emergency Management Office had been polling us and said that, you're familiar with Form 7? to fill one of those out and get it into them as soon as they can. There may be some...
Why haven't they contacted the town or the road commissioner?
Good question. But I'm passing it on because I did hear it as well. So if you have copies and access to all that,
I think so.
Form 7s. If not, I think I'd call him and get him to email it to the town office.
You probably should. I mean, it should come through the town. I mean,
Right, yeah.
I heard it on the radio that individuals could apply for this,
Right.
but nothing's come to any
And I
municipality.
just heard it from, in passing from, being on the fire department and
Right.
everything.
I was wondering why we hadn't, because it doesn't mean you're gonna get anything, but you should at least
Right.
report your damage.
So, I'll call him tomorrow and have him email that right to
Yep.
the town office email. Thank you. The other thing for the fire department, we're having our presentation to the public on Wednesday this week. That's at 7 p.m. up at the Columbia Town Hall. And hope everybody has a chance to attend who can. We're there to answer questions and hopefully present some good information to everyone.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Dave. Tony Santiago, Union Hall.
Thank you. If I could just adjust Dave for a second before I give you this report. Dave, I have a paper that I dug up in the last few days of the last fire marshal's meeting at the Union Hall back in 2005, and I thought you might like a copy, so there's a copy. We had a meeting on the 9th, last Thursday. Grant, as far as grants go, grant writer is working on the Morton Kelly Trust Fund. Water and sewer, the committee discussed estimates pertaining to the installation of a 1,500-gallon waste holding tank. The committee is also holding discussions in regards to water hookup. As we stated at the last Selectmen's meeting, the committee is exploring two options. One option is having a well installed on the property, and the other option is hooking up to the Allen Water Company. As I stated at the last Selectmen's meeting, discussions with a local plumbing inspector have been held pertaining to the well, and he seems to think that's a viable option. And discussions have been held with Mr. Hugh Driscoll and Mr. Brian Tibbetts pertaining to hooking up to the Allen Water Company. Mr. Brian Tibbetts stated he was made aware of this effort back in 2005 or 2006. Mr. Brian Tibbetts was very helpful. We will keep this board informed on any progress on that. The interior drawing, I gave you the final copy with a cover letter on it. The committee has a cover letter along with specs ready to go out for bid. We recommend that the list of local contractors that you have along with any changes or additional contractors that you want to add to that list, give it to me. Feel free to give it to me. We will then hand deliver the bids Tuesday, tomorrow, along with a request to have the bids returned by January 23rd in order to support the next Selectmen's meeting. The piano. Mary Lamerle has volunteered to coordinate the piano inspector and a get-together with John Porter, who has graciously donated that piano to the Union Hall. And I just want to thank Mr. Porter again. I did go up today with John and look at that piano, and I'm not a piano expert, but it looked like a pretty good piano to me, so I hope it works out. That's all I have.
I just had another thought. We had the question, came up under old business, the Dan Kane issue. We have a reporter here that's taping. We have a gentleman that's videotaping. I'm wondering if the selectmen, the body itself, the town, ought to invest in a tape recorder so that when we have questions dealing with the past, that, we have the tapes, and we can refer to them.
We have,
We have them?
yeah, Muriel taped the meetings for a long time, there's
Oh,
totes full of them.
that's a town tape recorder?
Yeah, we have one. And then I have one in the office.
Then I guess I'll make the motion that we use them.
I'll second that motion.
Been moved and seconded for the town to tape all selectmen's meetings or all meetings. All those in favor? 3 in favor, none opposed. You have not put this out, you have not sent this
No,
out yet.
I will as soon as you agree to those names on that list and/or you add some or take one off, whatever. When you return that list to me, then I will hand deliver those tomorrow.
Any problem with that list, or anybody you'd like to add?
Well, that's,
I'll make a motion that we approve that bid list. And Tony can send those out or hand deliver them tomorrow.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to accept that bid list and for those bids to go out tomorrow. All those in favor? 3 in favor, none opposed. No other actions of the committees. Anything else you'd like to add? Make a motion we adjourn until January 27th, 2014.
That's what I'll do.
Seconded?
I second.
Okay. Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? 3 in favor, none opposed. We're adjourned.